Hello, fourth grade. It was so nice seeing you on Tuesday, and I look forward to seeing you in a few minutes. So, if you had any trouble with your homework on Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll talk about it when we're on our live Zoom, but I hope that you did not. All right, so we started talking about division last time. So before we move on to our lesson for today, let's review a little bit about division. First of all, what is division the opposite of, or the inverse operation of? Multiplication. Good job. All right, so there are a few ways to write a division problem. Here are two of the ways. Okay, and let's go over the parts of a division problem. We have the dividend. The dividend is the number that is being divided. Okay, the divisor, the number that is doing the dividing, and then the quotient, which is the answer. Okay, so on this problem, see, the divisor is right here, the dividend is right here, and the quotient is right here. Remember, the other way that you can write a division problem is a line with the number on the top being the dividend and the number on the bottom being the divisor, and then the answer after the equal sign. All right, so we know about the dividend, the divisor, and the quotient. But unfortunately, multiplication problems and division problems don't always come out perfectly equal, okay? So sometimes in a division problem, you're going to have some left over. That is called the remainder, okay? So right here, I have 8 little bunnies. Spring is upon us, and you have probably seen some of these hopping around. I know we have a lot of gray and brown ones in Situate, and they're pretty cute. So I have 8 bunnies right here, okay? So I want to divide them into 3 groups, okay? So I'm going to divide them into 3 groups. Now, one way that I can do this is by knowing my multiplication tables. So what is 3 times 1? That's right, 3. So I'm going to put 1 group of 3. I didn't mean 3 groups, I meant groups of 3. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so 1 group of 3. That's 3 times 2. 6. So now I have 2 groups of 3, or 6. Do I have enough to make another group of 3? Sorry for the seasickness there. No, I only have 2 left over. So what is the answer to 8 divided by 3? Well, I have 2 groups, so 8 divided by 3 is 2. I can have 2 groups of 3, but I can't forget about the ones that I have left over. So how many do I have left over? 2. That is called the remainder. The remainder is how many I have left over after I have divided into equal groups. Okay, so knowing your multiplication facts is very important. So if I say to myself, how many times does 3 go into 8? 3 times 1, 3. 3 times 2, 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 would be too big. So I know it can only go in equally 2 times, but I'm going to have 2 left over, and that is called the remainder. I have 2 remaining after I put them into equal groups. All right, well, bunnies bunnies are one thing that we're seeing coming out in this nice spring weather. We're also seeing turtles. I know we've seen a lot of turtles around here. Okay, and there are 19 turtles on this sheet right here, and we're going to divide them into groups of 5. Why did I pick 5? Maybe because that's how many people are supposed to be together at a time right now. Thankfully, our governor here in Rhode Island made an exception for people that have more than 5 in a family. So we all got to stay together here. All right, so 19 divided by 5, so groups of 5. So let's see how many groups of 5 we have here. Okay, I have 1 group of 5. 2 groups of 5. 3 groups of 5. 'And it seems as if I counted these stickers wrong before, so I'm going to take one of these off to make 19. Sorry. All right, and then I have 4 left over, okay? I don't have a 5th one to make another group. So how many even groups do I have? How many even groups do I have? That's right, 3. So 19 divided by 3 is, 19 divided by 5, sorry, is 3 with how many left over? 4. So it would be 3 remainder 4. Okay, so if I know my 5 times tables, I would know that because 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 2 is 10, 5 times 3 is 15, 5 times 4 is 20. Okay, so 20 would be too big, so it can go in evenly 3 times with 4 remaining. So remainder 4, 3 remainder 4. Okay, so in our lesson today, your book is asking you to use counters or to draw pictures, which you can do, but you can also use your times tables, which you should be practicing. So if you know your times tables, this is going to be so much easier. Okay, so let's turn in your book to page 372. I'm going to give you a moment to turn to page 372, or you can just pause this video. All right, so if you're on page 372, this is what it looks like. It says, what happens when some are left? Cameron is arranging 14 chairs into 3 rows so that each row has the same number of chairs. How many chairs are in each row? How many chairs are left over? The part that is left over is called the remainder. The remainder should always be less than the divisor. Why should the remainder always be less than the divisor? Well, if it's equal to the divisor or higher than the divisor, you know you could have put it in another time or another couple times, okay? So the remainder should always be less than the divisor. So to find 14 divided by 3, what you show that's 14 circles that are showing 14 desks, and then you have them equally divided into 3 rows, but there's 2 chairs left over. Okay, so 2 would be the remainder. And we also know that because 3 times 4 is 12. And so there would be 2 left over. Okay, because 3 times 5 is 15, and that would be too much. So what does the remainder tell, if you were paying attention? The remainder tells us how many are left over. All right, so let's go up to check on page 373. For your homework today, you're going to be doing practice A, B, and mixed review and test prep odd. So that means they are not divisible by 2. So that means you'll be doing 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, etc. Okay, so look under check up at the top of page 373. Check. It says use counters or draw pictures, or you can use your times tables. Tell how many items are in each row and how many are left over if the items are divided equally among the rows. Okay, if we have 17 chairs, 3 rows. 17 divided by 3. Okay, it's going to be 5 with 2 left over. Okay, 17 divided by 3 is 5 with 2 left over, because 3 times 5 is 15, 16, 17. Okay, all right, number 2, 23 balls, 8 rows. Okay, so 23 divided by 8. Well, I know that 24 divided by 8 is 3, but 23 is less than 24. So it's going to have to be 2 with how many left over? That's right, 7. So 2 with 7 left over. So 8 times 2 is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So 2 with 7 left over, 7 as the remainder. All right, number 3. We have 28 books, 3 rows. So 28 divided by 3. I know that 9 times 3 is 27. One more is 28. So it would be 28 divided by 3 would be 9, remainder 1. All right, number 4, 21 divided by 6. Okay, I know that 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 4 is 24. So I think on number 2, I may have said that 8 times 4 was 23. 8 times, it's 8 times 3. I don't remember. Okay, but anyway, 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 3 is 18. So it's going to be 3 with how many left over? So 6 times 3 is 18, 19, 21, 19, 20, 21. So with 3 left over. All right, so 3 left over, what is the word for that? Remainder, you're right. Okay, so let's look at number 6, because you're not doing number 6. 25 divided by 4. Okay, that's how you read that. 25 divided by 4. Remember, the dividend is on the inside, the divisor is on the outside, and then you put the quotient up at the top and the remainder. Okay, so 25 divided by 4, what would it be? Okay, let's think about our 4 times tables. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and then 28. Okay, So 28 would be too much. So it's 6, remainder 1. Okay? So I will see you in a few minutes. If you're ending this before it's time for us to meet for Zoom, then you have a couple minutes to get started on your practice odd, and that would be awesome if you can get a head start, and then we'll do some of them together also on Zoom. All right, I will see you in a few minutes. Bye.